Hello, Sweet Sound ASMR here. Finally, this is my time to answer all your questions and I will answer them. So let's get into it. First question.
1. Will listener have more interaction with Sanji? 2. What listener's relationship with the crew so far?
First question. Yes, of course you'll get more interactions with Sanji. It is Sanji ex-listener after all. Maybe even some private moments with him, you know what I mean? Second question towards this. Your relation towards the crew. Let me just name everything off. Let's start off with Luffy. You and Luffy get along pretty well. Out of all the crew, Luffy managed to make you laugh the most. And you two seem to have a lot of moments together. Now let's go on to Zoro. You guys seem to have a pretty neutral relationship, and out of most of the crew, you and Zoro seem to be the ones training the most together. Now let's get to Nami. You and Nami have a lot of things to talk about, especially when you two share the same room. You just watch when Nami's just working on a map or something. Now let's go to Usopp. Usually you like to listen to Usopp just rambling on about his great adventures and stuff, even though everyone knows he's lying. You find it very interesting of how creative his mind is, and sometimes he likes designing weapons for you. And finally, Sanji. I'm not gonna tell you quite yet. You're just gonna have to watch the series to find out. Next question, but from the same user. They asked a lot of questions. Don't worry, I don't mind.
3. How good is listener at fighting? 4. Well, listener's backstory be like a slight change or a full rewrite?
First question, how good is listener fighting? Well, basically, your fighting's up next to Zoro's and Luffy's, and you'll get enhancedly stronger by the series. You will learn new fighting techniques and new skills along the way. Second question, if you want to find out your backstory, it's either going to be in this video or probably in the next one.
5. How far did you make this story? 6. When you decide to post this story and how did you feel? 7. Are there any bloopers? If so, can I hear? 8. What inspired you this story?
Ooh, how far did I make this series? Well, that all depends. I'm mostly trying to focus on ending this series during the Alabasta season. But if the series goes really well, I might carry on. When I posted, I expected nothing of it. You know, for funsies. But when I see how many people like this series, it keeps on motivating me every day to try to do my best to carry it on. For the next question, yes, there is bloopers, but unfortunately, I lost them all. But I promise I'll try to make a video of mentioning all my bloopers besides the ones that I lost. But a lot of the bloopers is just me messing up the lines. What inspired me to make this story? Well, I guess it was just the lack of content for One Piece. Next question.
9. Will listener meet the other crew members later on? 10. Are you interested in making other videos for other characters you like?
First question. Yes and no. Well, it's because since I'm ending this at the Alabasta season, you're probably only gonna meet Chopper and Robin. But as I said in the previous question, if this thing goes really well, I might carry on. So I guess yes, probably. And the final question that you asked. Yes, I fully intend to make content for other characters that I like. But I love scene requests, so if you want to have a specific character done, you can ask in the comments below, and I can probably do a one-shot of them. And a little bonus to this question, I do fully intend to make other series on other characters and other animes, once I'm done with this series. Now, since nobody else asked questions besides this user, I will finally get to the end to your rewrite backstory. So enjoy! Listener, where are you? It's almost time for dinner, and it's getting real late. He doesn't know I'm up in a tree right now. Duh?
Got you.
Grandpa, I thought I was gonna die.
Well, you're lucky that I'm an old Marine captain. You're lucky that I caught you, or unless you would have been a splat on the floor.
Don't say those things. I really could have died.
Well, that would have been a relief.
Grandpa!
I'm just joking.
Your joking's real mean, you know.
Stop being such a Debbie Downer. It was funny.
Well, not to me.
It still makes me laugh. Come on, it's getting late, and besides, it's time for dinner.
Okay.
What were you even doing up in that tree?
Hiding?
From what?
I wasn't hiding from no one. I just wanted to hide from myself.
Hiding from yourself. Now that's a new one.
Hey! No, that's really mean.
I can get even meaner if you want me to.
Please don't.
You want to know something? Your personality reminds me of a kid I met long time ago. Back then when I was still a Marine captain.
Who was it, Grandpa?
It was some kid that worked on, well, how do I put this? A sea restaurant? Somewhere near the Grand Line, I presume. His personality was such gusto, he kept on arguing with his old man. I forgot his name, but I believe it started with an S. If you would have met him, I believe you two would have been good friends.
Maybe one day I can see him.
Yes, maybe one day. One day you will set out to sea. Alright, we're here. Dinner should be still cooking. Go wash your hands and set up the table.
Alright. I really hope he's cooking my favorite tonight. That would be really awesome, since after the day I had today. Okay, all I have to do is set up the table. I wonder who that strange person was out on sea. It looked like he was only on a tiny boat. It might have been imagination. It could have been a rock or something. Whatever. Okay, done, Grandpa.
Okay, I'm almost done. And finished. Here you go, listener, your favorites.
Oh my, thank you, Grandpa.
Well, that was your grandpa.
Retired Marine captain, and one of the best, well, in your eyes.
You never knew your parents.
They died before they even got to see you.
You and your grandpa live on top of a hill that looks over the whole town below. And behind your home is mostly forest. That's where you love to play, and also get in trouble at. Since you're at a high advantage, usually grab a handful of berries and throw it down at the kids below.
It never hurted them. You just got in trouble a lot. And besides, the kids never wanted to play with you, and you were completely fine with that.
But going back to your grandpa.
Since you lived with him, you got to know a lot of stuff over the years. And a lot of stuff he taught you over the years. He always told you to protect the ones around you and the people you love the most, because those are going to be the people that get to stick up for you and protect you as well. One thing you always loved doing with him was him teaching you how to fire a bow and arrow. It's nothing much, but it was one of your first weapons that you learned how to use. About your grandpa, he had a tattoo on his right shoulder. A fact about your grandpa, he had a tattoo on his right shoulder. You always wondered what it meant, but it looked something like this. A weird symbol that you have no idea what it meant. You asked him countless times, but he always gave you the same answer.
You'll find out if you look hard enough,
he says. But overall, you appreciated him and you loved him. And you wished these moments could last forever. But you had no idea what would come next afterwards.
Are you almost done, listener?
And I'm done. I'm done, Grandpa.
Alright, give me a plate and help me wash the dishes.
Alright. Hey, Grandpa, can you tell me one of your stories, please?
Of course, but why are you asking?
Because I'm bored.
Alright. Well, I guess it started out...
Grandpa, what's going on?
I don't know, listener, but stay here. I have to go check on the townspeople. As he said that, he ran out of the front door, and before a glimpse of my eye, I see the whole town on fire. As he slams the door, you quickly ran into a corner to hide. You were scared. You didn't know what's going on. As minutes were passing by, you were getting more and more scared by the second. You told yourself over and over,
it's all gonna be fine, it's all gonna be fine, it's all gonna be fine. The bad things will stop and Grandpa will come back and everything will go back to normal.
As you said that, everything suddenly stopped. You can still hear the burning of the town, but everything went quiet. As you look at the door, it slammed open and Grandpa fell in. He was covered in his own blood and something sticking out of him. It was a metal bar. You ran over to him in a haste and started crying and saying if he's okay. Your grandpa, you didn't notice it, but he had something in his hand. A medium to large box that looked like it was locked tight. He handed it over to you and said, "Never let this fall into somebody's hands. Protect it with your life." You got that?
Yes, Grandpa, yes, but are you gonna be okay? Grandpa!
As you grabbed onto the box and you took it away from him, his hand went limp. He closed his eyes and said, "Take care, listener. I'm sorry."
Grandpa?
Grandpa! You were shaking him with shaky hands. You wanted him to wake up. Wake up. Please wake up. As you were doing that, you never noticed the man that was approaching your doorstep until he spoke up. Well, isn't this a sight? You looked up and noticed the man. Noticed his hands covered in blood, and you immediately realized he was the one that killed him. He was the one that killed your grandpa. He's the reason why the town's on fire. You weren't even thinking. You got up and sprung towards the man. You started punching and kicking his legs, shouting at him. You're the reason why Grandpa's dead. You're the reason the town's on fire. I hate you. I hate you. So the man started laughing. A very wicked laugh. You expect to do any damage to my legs. You know what? I like you. I think I'll keep you. As he said that, he pulled you by his wrist and tossed you over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. With your one arm and leg, you were punching and kicking him, trying to get loose from his grip. And in your other arm, holding the mysterious box you have no idea what's in. As he was carrying you through the ashen-burned, destroyed town you once knew. Every building was torn down to the ground. How could this one man do it all? Until he carried you to a dock where you saw a small boat. That was the man you saw in the middle of the ocean. Once you noticed that, you lost all will to fight. The only thing you can focus on is protecting the small, large to small box. That will be your biggest goal. Once you stepped on the tiny boat to set sail, your fate was already sealed. 5 long years of agony. I will spare you the details, just saying it was not pleasant. Until Marines found you and arrested that mysterious man. We're not the same. Afterwards, you started hearing things. Started hearing voices. When the Marines saved you, they tried to take away the box that you were holding on for so long. You absolutely refused to give the box up, and luckily, they let you keep it. You were in the hospital for 3 months. And once you were finally on walking ground, you were let go, and you were finally wander around sometimes, bouncing place to place, until you picked up a book on how to kill. Now that's your new story. Probably asking, sweet sound, what's in that box? But that all depends. What do you want to be in the box? Do you want it to be something valuable? Or do you want it to be a devil fruit? That all depends on you. So this has become tremendously long. So let's just end it right here. Well, I'm hoping you're having a lovely morning, evening, night, wherever you are. And bye.
Each morning, get up, do the flip to bridge. You never swim in the ocean for fear of shark attacks.